Starting tomorrow, you'll be able to cast your vote for president. Absentee ballots in Minnesota will be available either by mail or in person.
This will be the first presidential election year that you won't need an excuse to vote early. So, how many of us vote absentee, and how are those ballots counted? Good question. Here's Heather Brown.
Have you figured out who you're going to vote for yet?
Oh, yes.
You'd be ready to vote tomorrow.
Most definitely.
In 2012, 9% of Minnesotans voted absentee. In 2014, it was 10%.
And I expect it to be a lot more this time.
Steve Simon is Minnesota's Secretary of State.
You don't need an excuse. You don't need to be absent anymore to vote absentee. You can be very much in town.
And that's a change in the law.
That is a change in the law since the last presidential election.
I think a lot of people wonder, are these absentee votes really counted?
Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to dispel that myth.
I trust the voting system in this country, I really do.
They are absolutely counted 100% of the time when they meet the requirements.
Any idea how they count them?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Absentee ballots are counted at the county and sometimes city level.
We send to our absentee ballot board. They start opening those envelopes, removing the ballots from the envelopes, flattening them and getting them ready to go.
Ginny Gelms is Hennepin County's election manager.
And then we put all those ballots through these high-speed ballot counters. These machines are very fast. They can count up to 300 ballots per minute.
So you start counting the week before the election.
That's right.
By state law.
By state law.
And they'll count them until the late afternoon of Election Day.
Why do they have to wait 1 week before the election?
In Minnesota, you can change your vote until the last week.
They might decide, based on an ad or a debate or anything else, to change their mind. And in Minnesota, you can claw that thing back up until 1 week before.
Is absentee voting the way of the future?
Well, it's certainly possible.
I would rather do it that way, I guess.
What about the whole election day going in?
Well, then I'm at home watching and seeing what's happening.
Heather Brown, WCCO 4 News.
So starting tomorrow, you can vote early in person at all county and some city election offices. If you want to vote by mail, you can apply for your ballot online or by mail. Make sure that you leave enough time to get your ballot and then return it on or before Election Day. If you have a good question for Heather, please email it by going to WCCO.com/links.